Yeah, give Iowa credit. Yeah, give Iowa credit. I thought they really played well. I think they clearly outplayed us, outperformed us, outcoached us. We got to get back to work, but give them credit. Give them credit. We've got to get back to work and get some guys rested up and healed up and get moving forward.
Great, thank you, Coach. And we're going to open up questioning. We'll open up with Steve Hellwagon, 7. Steve.
Yeah, Coach. Obviously, you played him once before and had somewhat of a plan with Garza, but this time it just seemed like he was a half step ahead of you guys most of the way and got really good, clean looks that he was able to complete. Just your thought on what you could do, if anything, against him this time around.
We couldn't do much, honestly. We couldn't do much. We weren't able to take away some of his strengths when we were playing him one-on-one. I didn't think we had enough detail, and some of that is we've got some young guys playing him, but that's my fault. We obviously got to guard him better. They had a good attack with some of our double teams, and they made shots.
Yeah, the other thing I would ask is, it seems in this 3-game streak here, you've lost some production from some guys who were pivotal during the stretch where you won 7 in a row. How important is this next 6 days to get everybody back up and producing at the level where they were, or as close to that level again?
Yeah, that's certainly something would be nice to see. I think we probably got some guys that are struggling a little bit fatigued, struggling with maybe a little bit of confidence right now. So hopefully we can get that figured out.
Next, we'll go to Bill Landis from The Athletic. Bill?
Chris, last 2 games, obviously the offense has just not been as crisp as it's been for the large part of the season. I know you're seeing some teams the second time around, and maybe that's a factor, but just what are you seeing from your guys on that end when it comes to just kind of being efficient more consistently?
Yeah, I didn't think the ball moved very well today, so I just didn't think it moved, and Iowa's activity had something to do with that. I just did not think it moved very well today, so we've got to take a look at it. The ball's got to move. We got to take a higher quality of shot than what we took here today, and we were really, really sloppy with the ball, as sloppy as we've been all year.
Next up, we'll go to Adam Jardy with the Columbus Dispatch. Adam?
Sorry.
You know what, Adam? We're struggling a little bit. Let me jump to.
It's offense or
Adam, you're really breaking up. Why don't you go ahead and type in the chat box, and I'll ask the question. I'll move on right now to Patrick Murphy with 24/7 Sports. Patrick?
Chris, are you seeing any trends or things that have connected these 3 defeats, or have there been different things that have caused the losses each time?
I have to go look at it. I don't think defensively we've been great in any of the 3 games, but these last couple games, our offense has really been poor. So, and I think physically we've gotten we just haven't been where we need to be physically, both with our health and just with our overall energy.
And how important, with that said, is this week to get guys right? You don't have a game obviously midweek, so to be ready for that final game and obviously what's beyond there.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, we could use the rest. We need it. But again, give Iowa credit. I thought they just, they were better than us here today.
Coach, I'm going to go ahead and ask the question from Adam Jardy. It was, what would you say you're struggling with the most right now, your team?
I just think in general, we've not been good really on either end. I thought offensively we were just really poor today, just really poor. And I thought defensively we had pockets of good play, but not overall good enough.
Next, we'll go to Stephen Means with Cleveland.com. Stephen?
Coach, to the point of getting some guys some rest, Musa, for what his skill set is, and also what Kyle Young brings to the table, how hard has it maybe been this past week with those guys maybe being in and out of the lineup, in and out of practices, and not really getting the chance to get chemistry on that end of the floor when you're playing some of the teams of the level you're playing right now?
Yeah, I would like to be able to have practices of where we can have a full a full a full team. We just haven't had that, and I don't know that that's necessarily possible the rest of the year. I do think that would help if we didn't have 3 or 4 guys out for multiple practices or out for large segments of practice, but we'll see. I think a lot of that's just depending on what the medical staff is going to tell me regarding their overall health.
Next up, we'll go to Bruce Hooley with Press Pros. Bruce.
Chris, I know that there's always a temptation as a coach to internalize it and look at what are we not doing right. But you are playing in a league with 4 top 10 teams and 8 or 9 NCAA tournament teams. Is there any cautionary tale on the part of you and your coaching staff to not over dramatize what this is? Because this is a pretty daunting stretch, I think, for any team.
Yeah, Bruce, I think it's hard. It's hard in the moment, and I think it's hard for all of us. As much as you want to look at the closing stretch and talk about what it is with 3 top 10 teams, and then a team that is tough to play at their place, I think what we can own is areas as coaches and players where we just have to get better, and that's what we're going to try to do. Certainly, this is unlike any stretch I've ever been a part of. But what I'm hoping is that it gets us better. And, it'll be certainly a measure of our ability to handle disappointment and adversity and challenges. This is certainly the first time this season where we've had a stretch like this. And even though you look at it and you can anticipate struggle, it's certainly challenging in the moment. And I think the balance between recognizing that we're playing, a ridiculously hard closing stretch, and then owning areas that we have to get better, and as coaches and players is the challenge for us moving forward. And it's a balance, because you don't want to excuse poor play by just sheer quality of competition, even though we recognize the quality of competition that we're playing. We've got to get better in areas, and we've got to use this to help us get better.
In the aftermath of the 2 emotional games you played coming into this one, and the circumstances, particularly of Thursday, did you feel your guys were where you wanted them emotionally coming into today, or did you have some concerns about that? They looked like they didn't quite have the bounce at the beginning that they normally have.
No, we didn't. We clearly didn't. And I've got to look and figure out why. We clearly did not have the emotional juice that we've typically had. And I'll be honest with you, I did not recognize that yesterday. I thought we might, but we clearly didn't. And I've got to do a better job trying to find ways in which our guys can, we got to get there. We got to get there.
Thank you.
I'm going to go to 2 more individuals who haven't asked yet, but I'm also going to go to Adam Jardy to see if his microphone will work. But first, we'll go to Colin Hass-Hill with Levin Warriors. Colin.
Chris, you guys showed some life there offensively at the beginning of the second half, and then I think the last 10 minutes, you only made 1 shot from the field. What sort of changed there at that part of the game that, it seemed like you were figuring something out, and then it couldn't be sustained?
I'd have to look at it, Colin. I don't think the ball moved as well. We did sub a little bit, and I don't think I did a great job with the rotation in the first half. But in the second half, we went a little bit of a tighter rotation. But I did not think we had, I don't think we had as much ball movement there. That stretch.
How important is it just generally when you're looking at getting this offense back on track, and finding where you guys were at efficiency-wise earlier in the season throughout large portions of it, given the fact that, like you've said, this is a team that really needs its offense to play well, given sort of the natural defensive shortcomings that you might have, even if you obviously want to play better on that end.
What was the question again, Colin?
How important is it to get this offense back on track, given the fact that obviously it's so important to what you guys?
Yeah, no, I think it's important. I think we got to get to playing better. We can't have 13 turnovers against a team that typically doesn't turn you over much. We were too careless and loose with the ball. We were sloppy with it. Yeah, it's we got to be better on that end. We certainly got to be better on the defensive end.
I'm going to go back to Adam Jardy with the Dispatch. Adam, go ahead.
Chris, with Kyle, obviously not knowing, kind of watching him through warmups and deciding, how much did you think you might get from him in this game, and did it match what you did get?
Kyle was not as normal. Some of that's having a week off and not practicing at all. So he gave it his best. I give him credit. He gave it his best. He really did. He gave it his best.
And you talk about, like, players make plays. You talk about making winning plays, and it just seemed like today, as you were answering Bruce's question about not overreacting, maybe. What needs to change, I guess, maybe from a mindset standpoint right now, that some of these plays that you guys were able to make in key situations earlier in the season are just becoming more difficult? Is that a mindset thing that needs to flip back, or?
I think.
What do you?
I think it's more of an execution thing right now, Adam. In my mind, I'm sure there's a confidence element to that's important for our guys, if that's where you're going with that. But I think it's as much as anything, I think we just have to get back to work and get back to executing and get our minds and our bodies freshened up.
We're going to end the press conference today with questions from Brendan Gulick from Buckeyes Now on Sports Illustrated. Brendan?
Hey, Chris, obviously the seasons have ups and downs, and it's easy to get caught on a roller coaster if you're, if you're not cognizant of it. I'm curious what the morale of the team is like right now, because you had some high highs, and obviously, this would probably qualify as the frustrating part of the season. How are you guys, trying to stay even keel, because your goals are still very much attainable?
Yeah, I've not. We're going to meet here in a little bit, so I'll have a better gauge on that. After we spend some time together and get them here together this week. I think, again, I think as much as anything, Brendan, we're just, we've got to take a look at areas that we have to own and improve on, and at the same time, we I think recognize that. Sure, we built a really quality, season up to this point, but we've got to play better. And obviously, there've been plenty of good times. This is the first time where we've really hit significant struggles, and we've got to respond here in this closing stretch.
All right, Coach. Thank you, Adam. I don't know if you had one more question you were going to ask or not.
Sure. Chris, I just wanted to ask, we were just told that players are not available after this game, and I just wondered if you could tell us why, and I guess what message you're trying to send in this moment.
Well, I wanted to be the one to kind of face the music here. So they battled all season. They'll be available all week. It's not like they're, not available. They'll be available all week. I think in this moment is important for me to come out here and face the music here, and we're going to meet here in a little bit. But they'll be available all week.